global, like sort of world schooling, as they call it, like taking your child to different parts of the world and talking to them a lot, that's far more effective than just, sending them to like some building every day. Like I just really think that that's a much, because I think the foundation of education really, in terms of what was missing when I was a kid, which caused my grades to be absolutely terrible, was that my education was missing a key ingredient that I needed as a kid, which was love and support and confidence. Just having people around me that cared about me. I knew those white ladies didn't care about me, whatever. And but when I got around I noticed when I look back, when I got around somebody who really cared about me, who wanted to see me do well, who really helped me, I would soar. I would do really well. That was when I showed my natural intelligence. Because what happened one time was I had F's in almost every class that I had, maybe D's and F's, C's, stuff like that. And I went to this all white school called Kentucky Country Day, and it was a great school, but it was a horrible experience for an 11 or 12-year-old, because I didn't know how to deal with, at that time I didn't know how to deal with racism. I didn't know how to deal with bullying, and because I was the poor kid too. My parents didn't have a lot of money, so we got one of those poor black kid scholarships. You know what I'm talking about? And in that school, I just stumbled through. My grades were terrible, and one time I used to go to this place after school called the Wesley House, and they had this guy, and he was a white guy, I think, if I'm not mistaken, and he helped me with my math. He just sat there with me, and I felt like this guy really wanted to see me do well. He was a really nice person, and I appreciated his help. And guess what happened? I went into and I took the next math test, and the teacher comes in the room, and she says, "Guess who got the highest score on the math test?" And then nobody knows. They're like, "Who?" And she says, "Boyce." And they're like, Boyce got the highest score in the class? Like, Boyce doesn't get the highest score in the class. Well, what are you? No way, right? And she said, no, he didn't get the highest score in the class. He got the highest score in the entire seventh grade. Do you hear me? Like literally the whole seventh grade, like all the classes. I had the highest score of all the classes in the whole seventh grade. And this was at that time I didn't know I was going to be a finance professor. I didn't know that I was going to do what I do now. Right now I'm comfortable with what I know. Right, I taught math at University of Kentucky and all that. But back then I didn't know these things were in me. And I think that so it was really, it kind of blew my mind. They were shocked. I know that, and because I had an F in the class at the time. So what I really think with your kids and your grandkids and your nieces and nephews and all the kids that are struggling with the school system is that there's probably a lot in them, in terms of assets that haven't been pulled out. That greatness inside of them probably hasn't been pulled out because it's either been distracted by all the nonsense that we see in on social media and hip hop and all that, or it maybe they don't, the confidence isn't there yet,